Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this toke.
You're watching the Hi Guys podcast with Al and the other Al on the 420 Pace Project.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
My laundry just stopped. Laundry. Like just as you hit the thing, it stopped.
Well, I was gonna say, hi guys from the Hi Guys.
Sorry, it made me funny. Oh, hi. I'm getting Facebook alerts here that are telling me that all our videos are going to start disappearing after 90 days.
Yes, I'm getting
so
notices.
I just wanted to let everybody know that we've got several websites up. We've got several YouTube channels that are going with all our videos on it. Check us out at the 420pace.ca, where you'll find all of our videos. And there are thousands. I think I'm up to 1,500 videos.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue.
But yeah, we've got almost 600 on 420 Pace now. I've got about 15 on 420 Radio, and you've got I think 6 and change.
Yeah, on the YouTube end of things. Yeah,
on your Pace. Yep.
Yeah. The Facebook thing. Yeah, I get those notices now too. Download your video before we delete it.
No,
it tells you they're only there for 30 days and then they're gone.
I used to store everything on my external drive.
Yeah.
Right. And but what am I supposed to do with 18 years worth of shows?
That's the thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you ever going to listen to it or watch it but it's all stuff it's a history of everything.
There's a lot of it. A lot of it is on YouTube, and it'll remain on YouTube. And there's a lot of shows that go out on other podcast networks that download them and store them. So they're all there. You just have like Al, you said that you weren't using Spreaker anymore, but yet they're all still on there.
Yeah, actually, I started to use the free plan.
Yeah,
exactly. And just using the free plan and send it all up. Hey there, Big Terp. How you doing, buddy? He's in the grow. He's here.
There you go.
Yeah. I got something to bitch about.
Oh God. Just hold on one sec. There you go.
Okay. All right. There you go. Yeah, I sent in my application for my license, my renewal.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going because I've been there and done that.
I sent it in, and then I received a big brown envelope in the mail, and I went, all right, my license is here. And I opened it up, and they denied me.
Yep.
I went, what the heck?
What were the reasons?
So I pulled it out, and there was a piece of paper in there, and it told me the reason. It's not as if I missed anything. I filled out everything like it was supposed to be filled out. I used the same paperwork the last time I filled it out.
That you downloaded from Canada.ca.
What I do is I have a bookmark of the application form. So I went to the bookmark, went in, filled out the thing, filled it all out, mailed it in, they sent it back, and they rejected it. The problem? It was the wrong paperwork.
Correct, which is why I stopped.
Yeah, they updated the paperwork. So why is the other one still like if you go directly to the website?
On the website, yeah.
If you go to the website and go in and click on the link, so on and so forth, the new one is there.
Yep.
If you use an old bookmark, you're still going to find the old application. So why is that old application still available online? even though it's not on the linked off their website. It's still available online.
I sent mine in.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor signed it. By the time I got everything unpacked and sent it in, it was a little bit late. They sent it back to me, and they said was the date is about to expire. Okay, from the day he signed.
Okay.
It was like 3 or 4 months later it was going to expire by the time and they sent it back with the forms to refill out. So I filled out those forms and sent it back in. Sorry, sir. Brown envelope. Sorry, sir. You filled out the wrong forms.
Did they send you the proper forms?
They sent me the forms.
The ones with the green lines on them?
They sent me the forms. Same ones you got. Okay.
They obviously know those other ones are available.
And there are associations, groups, and people who are trying to help the community. And when somebody says, "Where do I get my Health Canada forms?" they go, "Oh, here you go."
Yeah.
Not the right forms. So might I suggest to people, go to canada.ca, download the forms and do them that day and send them in.
Yeah, don't rely on a bookmark, because the bookmark
Don't rely on your doctor.
They didn't delete that one off the web. It's still there.
And don't rely on your doctor downloading the forms and filling them out while you're at the doctor's office, because chances are they're going to fill out the wrong forms and you're going to be down to blah blah blah.
Yeah, I never rely on the doctor.
Fucking annoying. I know a lot of people who said, "Fuck it, come and arrest me."
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who have said, "Fuck it, I'll just go to the legal store," which is what they want.
And even doctors are saying that as well.
Go to the legal store. You don't need me anymore.
Correct.
The only reason that my doctor here, my new doctor, will sign, is because of my grow, not because I want access.
Yeah.
You don't really need, and I see their point, Al. You don't really need the access anymore. Okay. The only time you need Health Canada's interjection is when you want to grow your own.
Yeah, but I figured at some point that they'd be trying to rip their grow rights off of us, and that may come down the road because of the fact that, back in the Terry Parker's decision, the problem was access, and now it is accessible. But there are other court cases that since then that have said that this program, the medical program, has to remain. So I would think
that's a charter challenge. So I mean, that would be a big federal case. Jack and Paul and John and all the other lawyers in the cannabis community would jump on that
if they tried to remove the program.
I mean, they're going.
We saw that question 5.2 of the task force review thing of cannabis a few years ago. They asked if brick and mortar stores could replace the medical cannabis program.
Why? I don't understand why pharmacies can't.
Well, that was the decision that they were against cannabis when it all first came out. Pharmacists,
correct?
Were,
and then,
they had that. I think that opportunity was they threw that opportunity away.
Well,
and now they want it back.
Did jump in, and but now they've jumped out. You can't get pot through Shoppers anymore.
No, you can't.
But you can go to Optimus Cannabis, which is out of Nova Scotia, and they do mail order. And Lenny's pharmacist knows what he's talking about, deals with patients on his own, and he only brings in things that are medically useful. He's not a recreational shop, and that's Optimus Cannabis. If you want medical cannabis, there you go. head over to Optimus. I'm Optimus Prime. You're welcome, Len.
All right, Al. You got that question. Here it comes.
Okay.
What are you smoking?
Kaif.
Okay, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm getting
I'm
sick of
actually I still have my 2 vape cartridges here that I've had for the last month.
it. They're still going, eh? And do you
Yeah.
use them throughout the day usually?
Yeah, but they're not mine. I still smoke my doobies, but I have those for when I'm inside and I can't smoke joints. I don't
His wife
smoke
won't
joints
let
in
him
the house,
smoke
right?
in the house.
Yeah, so I have my vaporizers to smoke in the
No
house.
smoking for you.
Yeah. It's been like that ever since I've been licensed. I don't normally smoke freely in the house.
Did you smoke freely in the house before you were licensed?
Actually, let me think. You have to really go back and go back in the memory banks for that one. I know that.
No way. So do you get more snow down there, Al?
Yeah, we did. Just so you know, we got a message here from the Big Turp.
I see that.
Yeah, he says growing our only way we can get the right medication as an individual. That allows the options, choices.
But some you got to
Yeah.
remember though, some people can't.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. There's people who can't. Even people who spend $1.5 million on a condo can't grow in their own condo because
You
of
know,
the
when
condo
I
board.
was staying at my mom's in her condo,
Mhm.
I used to sit outside on her little porch. She was on
Yeah.
the first floor, and even though there was a fence, Mount Pleasant was right there.
Mm.
So I used to sit at her little coffee table outside smoking doobies, and they couldn't see me, but I could hear the comments of people walking by.
Right.
And then every time I would take the dog out, because it's right on the bridle path,
Mhm.
right? It was right behind her apartment. And every time I would take the dog out, fucking security would follow me around.
Oh.
Not because they had a problem with it, because the old guy wanted a fucking toke. I used to catch the old guy under the fucking pool smoking hash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the storage area.
I've got a hash story for when we get to product reviews, but keep
He'd
going.
come out with a big glow on his face and, "Hi, how are you?" You know.
Yes, exactly. So yeah.
So back to the snow. I'm sick of fucking
Right.
snow.
Yes.
We just got 22 centimeters, and there's more coming.
We got a little bit, but it melted.
It was almost melted. I could see my car. I had a chunk of ice, maybe this big, left on the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's covered. And I've got a 4.5, maybe 5 foot snow drift in the center of my driveway.
Now, is your vehicle underneath that snowdrift, or is that part of the snowdrift?
It's part of the snowdrift now.
Part of the snowdrift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's see, Big Turp. What Big Turp says he's smoking. He says cherry.
He's
Fallon.
behind.
Ghost Rider a mule fuel.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of Ghost Rider, actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Never mule fuel, not heard of that. Cherry something wherever.
Yeah. Well, doobie wise, I'm still smoking my last summer's harvest. Got my was it all of a sudden my mind went blank. The trophy wife is one of the strains, and Cherry Dragon is the other.
Cherry Dragon.
Yeah. The pictures, it goes red. The leaves all go red and everything.
Oh, it's one of those funky colored ones, is it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really see too much of the red last harvest, so See what happens this
The
year.
color comes out right at the end, I guess, eh?
Well, yeah, usually when the nutrients and everything slow down, colors start to appear. Think of the fall. Your leaves change color. That's the way I like to look at it.
Well, yeah, and we talked about that last fall because I was concerned all my plants
Mm,
were losing their leaves, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And people are like, "It's fall."
it's fall.
I was like,
Yeah,
"No."
exactly. Good morning, Kent. How you doing, buddy?
Morning,
I
Kent.
just so you know, Kent, we haven't got to the review part yet, but I'm all ready to when we get to that part to discuss what we did last night.
Oh, were you guys squishing again? I haven't squished in a while.
Yeah, yeah,
Only because I don't. It's not cost effective to go out and get an ounce and come back and squish it, and then what do I got left? Because the
yeah.
ratios aren't that great, to be
Well,
honest.
yeah, it depends on how much humidity too is in that bud that you're buying from the
It
store,
depends on
right?
a lot of things, and usually mail order stuff, be it LP or Legacy, is very dry by the time you get it. I
Yeah,
don't remember the last. I mean, I always do what I call the squish test. It's the only thing we can do here in Canada. When you go to the legal store, you can't see it, you can't smell it. God forbid you can't smell it.
yeah,
Uh, and So you squish the bag, and if there's a little squish to it, you know that it's got some moisture in it, and if there's not, it's really hard, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. It's the sponginess left to it. If it's just fucking dry and it just crumbles underneath you, you're not going to get anything out of it.
I
Right?
I'm in that issue right now, Shadow. I got everything I need to set up my grow room, but there's things that I can't do on my own, and I've got no
Yeah.
help to do it. So yes, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, so Shadows, that Al mentions there, he says, that's the thing. I own my own house, and so I can do it. But as I get older and I'm in my late 60s now, what
It
do
gets
I do
harder.
then?
It
It gets harder to
Yeah.
grow and
I
all that
have
stuff.
several
Sure.
things that I need to do downstairs to finish it so that I can use it. But
Mhm.
because of my arm, I can't raise my arm past here. I
Yeah,
can't do the ceiling by myself. And when you don't have help, it makes it even harder. And I
yeah.
can't afford to hire somebody to come in and do it.
No, no. As
So,
far, yeah. Once you got your room built and all that, even still, then you can, people who are on disabilities, like who are hampered by the disability, to be able to grow.
yep.
Yeah, they've always had to get a designated grower, but from my understanding, that's even harder these days because that's
They're shying
that's
on
that
that
big,
as well.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
that thing that they call the loop, the loophole that's in the regulations. The mayors, the municipalities, the cities, all that stuff have been screaming for the longest time about the designated growers. So
I get that argument. I've been hook-winkled by
mhm,
a designated grower
yeah,
who came and signed up myself, another friend, and her sister-in-law who had Lynch syndrome, because she's passed away since then, and
yeah,
was very sick. And he came and took our. You probably remember this story, Al. He came and took our licenses with him to go and build his grow on our licenses,
yeah.
and turned around and fucked us for it. And Amy Brown got him for me, but
Yeah. Now I want to answer a little bit more on the shadows
Okay,
questions. What do
go
I
ahead.
do then? Well, there is an option in the paperwork is for responsible person. I don't know whether that would be under there because a responsible person might be somebody who is sort of like
Caregiver.
a caregiver
I
type
think that's
thing.
how
So that
they
might be maybe that is a possibility. And then there's also, what we've been doing for years. Get your license. If you need a hand, have somebody come in and give you a help.
Well, you see that
It technically, yeah, it's against the law. I realize that.
it is, and that's stupid because you automatically go and give a hand and you become a DG, and that's not allowed because you don't have a license to do that.
But yet again, how often are they ever going to come knock on your door
They're starting to.
of a small grow? Like
They're starting to.
they are increasing the inspections. But if you've got a 5-plant grow and or a 5-gram grow, I wouldn't worry about
I'm 61 years old. I can barely fucking walk. I have diabetes and other health issues that I use cannabis for. One of them is ADHD and other mental health problems. When I don't have it, what am I doing, Al?
Yeah.
I'm in bed drooling. It's not fair that they've put all of this in place to protect us, but yet it's impeding the ability to actually do it. So a lot of people are saying fuck it and just doing it.
Now, Big Terp, he says that nobody's bringing this up, but we should have a proxy growers for older folks.
We should have. Well, they would consider that a designated grower. And they don't want to do that for the reason that people are basically what happens when you have a DG is somebody comes in or somebody grows for you at another location. They give you your license and they keep the rest. That's always been the give and take of a designated grower. They get something out of it.
Now these days it's a different situation.
It's
now
a different
that cannabis
story.
is legalized, right?
That's great.
And technically, it's that grower is supposed to be handing it all over to the patients, but yeah.
Yes, but you know as well as I.
And then there were some
until it became legal here. The usual arrangement with a designated grower was, here's your meds, we keep the rest so that we can make a living. Because they're usually paying for the hydro and all the plants.
Oh yeah. The patient's not paying anything, and that's it was helping them pay for that stuff. So
and that was the way it worked back then. Now it can't work that way.
No, I know. Well, even now, like you can buy a pound of cannabis for thousands less, basically, than what you could before.
But yet, when you need something like
$300-$500 a pound versus a couple thousand.
But when you need something like FICO, it's a $6,000, $10,000 fucking price.
Yeah, and there's people, especially like over in the UK and all that, are paying huge amounts.
I've watched it. I've seen it.
Oh, I reported on it. It's ridiculous.
At one time, $5,000 was the running price for a full regiment of FICO or cannabis oil. The cancer removing.
That was the 90-day thing.
But now what's happening, and since we brought this up, this week on my show, the 420 radio show, Marcel and I and the guys, we're going to be talking about the differences between RSO, Rick Simpson oil, and what we call now fecal, full extract cannabis oil. The differences in methods and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because the reason we're doing it, there's a reason I'm bringing that up, Al. The reason we're doing that is now the scam is let's make something that looks like cannabis oil and give it to people with cannabis for $5,000-$6,000.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make cannabis oil and stick it in the fucking stores and put filler in it. And the only thing that it's good for is to catch a buzz.
Filler. Ooh.
Okay. So it's annoying to see that. Although we've been battling that shit. I'm a little animated today, sorry. We've been battling that shit since I've been in the community. And there are vipers out there that the only thing they care about is the money. They don't care about your health. They present, look how many Rick Simpson oil people are out there now. Yet you've got Rick himself saying, I don't know all these people. They ain't
Yeah,
representing.
don't
union
use
only
mine.
me.
Yeah,
The
there's some
people I
lawsuit
know that
going
are
around.
representatives of Rick Simpson are himself, Gendrich. We've just lost Corey, who was involved in that camp, and Janet in the States. Right? They're the only people that I know that are the authentic Rick Simpson Phoenix Oil people.
His name's being thrown on things left and right, and
you can even get Phoenix Oil from the legal store using his name.
Yeah, that's not right.
I know they're trying to combat.
If he's not involved in that, that's absolutely not right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, Rick is an older man. He's not involved in anything other than getting the word out. That's all he's been about.
I saw a post yesterday on Facebook. It was a lawsuit that was apparently involving Rick and against people using his name.
There's actually a few of them.
Yeah. So, Big Terp's got us a message there. He says, if I was going to grow for the elderly, I would only grow in their home.
But that's the thing. It makes sense to me. Like my buddy said, if
the home is capable
of
it,
be my DJ, my DG, that's fine because he's not able to do it. And I'm like, well, I'd want to do it at home. I'd want to do it at my place, but the proper thing would be to do it in the person's home.
Yeah, if possible, yeah.
If possible, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anything else on that? Time to move on to the list.
I think we should go to the list because I'm getting really ranged up.
All right, let's change the subject. Here we go.
It's certainly high on the list.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that does need an update in more ways. In more ways than one.
Well, that was 2 years ago already that I did that. A year, anyways.
Okay, all right.
So, today I've been playing with AI. So I thought, let's see what it comes up with when I put in top 10 cannabis movies or stoner movies. I think I put in.
All right.
So let's have a look at that and see. I got too many windows open. Here we go.
Hey there, movie buffs and cannabis enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the top 10 cannabis movies you absolutely need to watch. We're talking about the classics, the cult favorites, the ones that'll have you laughing your ass off, and maybe even make you think a little. So, grab your favorite snack, pack a fresh bowl, sit back, and let's get started. So, obviously, I gotta kick things off with Pineapple Express. I mean, come on, it's me and Franco. We poured our hearts and souls and probably a contact high or two into this movie. It's got everything you could want. Car chases, explosions, a talking bear. Okay, maybe not that last one. But seriously, it's a wild ride from start to finish. And if you haven't seen it, what are you even doing with your life? You'll thank me later. Next up, we've got the one and only Half-Baked. This movie is a straight-up classic. Dave Chappelle is a comedic genius, and this movie is him at his finest. Remember the time he got baked with a diabetic bear? Pure gold. This movie's got it all: memorable characters, quotable lines, and enough weed humor to keep you entertained for days. If you're looking for a good laugh, look no further than Half-Baked. Now let's talk about Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. This movie is all about the munchies, man. I mean, who hasn't had those late-night cravings that send you on a crazy adventure? Harold and Kumar's quest for those tiny, delicious burgers is relatable, hilarious, and man, does it make you crave White Castle. It's the perfect stoner comedy for when you're feeling hungry and need a good laugh. Chapter 4. All right, let's switch gears for a second with Reefer Madness. Now, this one's a bit of a trip, and not necessarily in a good way. It's this super over-the-top propaganda film from the 30s that tries to scare people away from weed. They've got people going insane, turning into murderers, all because they took a puff. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's what makes it so entertaining. It's like a time capsule of how misinformed people were back then.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it's always fun to laugh at how bad the acting is. Chapter 5. No cannabis movie list would be complete without the legendary Cheech and Chong. These guys are the godfathers of stoner comedy, and Up in Smoke is their masterpiece. From the iconic van made entirely of weed to their hilarious run-ins with the cops, this movie is a non-stop laugh riot. Cheech and Chong's chemistry is undeniable, and their laid-back humor is timeless. If you're a fan of stoner comedies, you owe it to yourself to watch this one. Chapter 6. How High Man? This movie is just pure fun. Method Man and Redman are hilarious as two friends who ace their college entrance exams with a little help from a magical strain of weed. It's a classic stoner comedy with a heart of gold, and it's always a good time. Plus, who wouldn't want to get high and suddenly become a genius? Chapter 7. Now for a little something different, we've got Dazed and Confused. This coming-of-age classic captures the hazy, carefree vibe of the 1970s perfectly. It's got a killer soundtrack, memorable characters, and a whole lot of weed smoking. Even if you weren't alive in the 70s, this movie will make you feel like you were right there with them, cruising around and getting high.
That's illegal.
Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to enter the wild and twisted world of fear and loathing in Las Vegas. Based on Hunter S. Thompson's iconic novel, this movie is a visual masterpiece that's not for the faint of heart. Johnny Depp gives an unforgettable performance as Raoul Duke, a journalist who embarks on a drug-fueled journey through Las Vegas. It's a wild, hallucinatory ride that will leave you both entertained and slightly disturbed. All right, let's get serious for a minute with The Union, the business behind getting high.
Yeah.
This documentary takes a hard-hitting look at the cannabis industry, exploring everything from its history to its impact on society. It's an eye-opening film that will challenge your perceptions of cannabis and make you think about the plant in a whole new light.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, we're wrapping things up with Super Troopers. This movie is just plain hilarious. It follows the misadventures of a group of Vermont state troopers who love to mess around and get high. Their pranks are outrageous, the dialogue is quotable, and the characters are unforgettable. If you're looking for a good laugh, Super Troopers will deliver. And there you have it, folks. The top 10 cannabis movies you need to add to your watch list. From side-splitting comedies to thought-provoking documentaries, there's something on this list for everyone. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content.
There you go. I think I haven't seen them all. I know that, but I've seen probably most of them.
I think I've seen them all.
Yeah. The Reefer Madness, I've seen that a gazillion times.
Oh, yeah.
It was a prohibition movie that I used during my documentary series, and people would laugh watching it. But yet again, it was released as something that was serious.
People were laughing when it was made, Al.
That's right. It was still put out by the government as something that was serious, and it was just it was so bad. And The Union, that's a very good movie.
I remember when that came out. Adam came on the show a few times to talk about it, and
I had him on as well.
He was the film has been nominated at a lot of film festivals.
Yeah.
At the time, it was probably the best well put documentary about cannabis and business on the market. I mean, it was really the first time that somebody jumped into the cannabis business spectrum. I mean, but it was done by a pothead for potheads to learn about.
And the he went right into it was containers that were buried in the ground with grows in them. And then the follow-up movie to that, The Culture High.
The Culture High.
Yeah, it was another very good educational movie or documentary that people should watch.
Adam went in and Adam Scorgi, I think is his last name.
Scorgi,
went at it from an interest point. Like, he was very interested. He was an up and comer in the business. He is still very much around doing documentaries.
Yeah.
He also did I Am Bruce, which was a movie about Bruce Lee. Right,
I know another one. I just can't think of what it was offhand right now.
There were a few.
Something to do with boxing or hockey fighting or something.
He's done a lot of different documentaries, but for other people that he only got production credits for.
Right.
And I think he's worked for a few networks now. He's, like I said, he's still around. He's still producing stuff, and he's very good at it. He's won several awards for doing it.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Anything else on the list?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll just move on then. Here we go. Quick little promo, and then we'll get into the next subject. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. All right, recipe time. What have I got for today? I've got just 2 recipes. I haven't got a big list of things. And being that, it's maple syrup time and all that and everything. One of the recipes I've got here today is how to make cannabis-infused maple bacon bourbon. You get both cannabis and bourbon, I guess, in your syrup. And I don't think it's very hard to do. There's a short list of ingredients: 2 cups of butter, infused butter. They call it magical butter, but that's because of the machine. 12 ounces of maple syrup, some condensed milk, 10 strips of bacon, some bourbon. If you want to add bourbon, go ahead.
There.
Yeah. 2 tablespoons of cane sugar, organic cane sugar, and some vanilla paste. They say just saute it in a medium heat pan. Cook the bacon until half done. Only halfway done, because I guess the other half gets done somewhere else along the way.
Cook the bacon until half baked.
Yeah. That's exactly. Now drain it off on paper towels, right, to get rid of the grease. Add the butter. Cook until the bacon is crispy. And because you're putting that butter in, infusing the bacon at that point. Cook it for a minute or 2. Add your bourbon for another minute or 2. Add sweetened condensed milk and maple syrup, and then stir the remainder bourbon and remove the heat. And there you go. Put it in a dish.
And you're not allowed to play that video because we're Canadian.
Yeah. No, it says age restricted. It doesn't say anything because you're Canadian.
Oh, okay. Usually it says, sorry, this video cannot be played in your country.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's a new one.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Remove that. That's gone. So that was that one. Some maple syrup bacon. I was at a maple syrup place on the weekend up near Ottawa, and had some great maple syrup. It was really good. And I'll tell you, the place was packed. Literally,
you know what else is supposed to be good? Birch syrup.
Oh, I don't know. I never tried birch syrup.
It's not as sweet, but it's got a lot of medicinal properties to it, and it can be used as a syrup as well.
Oh yeah. Well, this place, they had like a big restaurant with like a log building and stuff. And the lineup, we were there for an hour and a half. The lineup was still outside. And the guy says it's like that every Sunday until after noon, until after 12 o'clock. For hours, there's lineup outside. And then they have a building off to the side. And you can go in there, and you can get gifts and things like that. But the guy was pouring maple syrup on some tray, and then it was going cold. And while it was going cold, he was rolling it up, and he was turning maple syrup into suckers.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you could, as it heated up, you could stretch it out and all that stuff. Yeah, it was good. I gave it a try. I had a small one just to see what it was like.
I remember those lines because we used to go up north to go to maple syrup farms and stuff like that when we were kids. And we would stop at, I can't remember the name of it. There's a restaurant that has TTC trolleys and train trolleys and stuff like that, and that's where the rest it's just on the 400. Do you know where I'm talking about, Al?
Probably not.
You know when you're going along the 400 going out past Barrie to the skiing and all that.
Okay, up that way, yeah.
We're all and you're in the Kawarthas, so you're going through all the boat places and stuff like that. There's a restaurant that's been there since I was a kid, and I'm sure you know where I'm talking about. And I can't remember the name of it, but like I said, it had all trains. That's you ate in the trains. Had some TTC stuff there as well, streetcars. But my point was, you would go there and wait hours just to get in a line, just to get a burger and fries on your way to going to Horseshoe Valley or wherever you were going, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the same thing at Kawartha Dairies. You go to Kawartha Dairies, you're waiting for hours sometimes to get a scoop.
Wait. That's right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, on to the next recipe from something that was maple syrup.
There's more.
We're gonna change over to some medicated herb stuffed chicken.
Huh. That might be
and it looks like it's got 2 cannabis infused ingredients. That's butter and olive oil.
I see that.
Yeah, you got your butter, you got your olive oil, you got some sun-dried tomatoes, some chicken breast, cream cheese.
I'll be right back.
All right, cream cheese. Let's see, some mozzarella cheese. Make sure it's diced. Mozzarella. 3 large garlic cloves, minced. Right, so you want to squish it all up. Some basil, some lemon juice, some chicken bouillon, some broth, and some salt and seasoning. Crank up your oven to 325. Some people might want to go a little bit lower because of the concern about the temperature and their cannabis end of things, but make sure you cook it longer to try to make up for that. Just in a large mixing bowl, they say thoroughly mix the cream cheese, butter, tomatoes, garlic, basil, lemon zest, and chicken bouillon. And they say with the long, thin paring knife, slice a pocket in each chicken breast, fill each breast evenly, and plug the pocket hole with a large basil leaf. Heat a large saute pan, medium heat, add the oil, wait 2 minutes, and slowly add the chicken breast one at a time. Allow 60 seconds before adding each breast. Saute it for 3 or 4 minutes, flip it over for another 3 or 4 minutes, and then this says bake the pan. Maybe you're going to get baked yourself in the process.
Cheers to that. Hi, Mark.
Remove the pan from the oven and let it rest for 10 minutes and serving your Italian stuffed
10 minutes?
Yeah, there you go.
That's too long for a pothead to wait.
So, there you go. Some how to make. There you go. There's the chicken right there. You can see the stuffing in it.
It's one of my favorite things to eat is stuffing.
Yeah.
Can you still eat stuffing, Al?
Yeah, I eat stuffing. I gotta watch the amount of onions that are in it, but I'll eat some stuffing, and then I can't overdo it either because then I'll get bloated for it. Oh,
yes. Thank you, Kent. That's it. Weber's. Yep. And you can actually get their burgers in I think Loblaws.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is it still there? I don't know.
Yeah, Kent, is it still there, buddy? Yeah, let us know. There you go. Alrighty. So we've had we got some chicken there. Medicated chicken with 2 different kinds of medication in it. So that should do really well. And who knows? Maybe do you like your chicken with maple syrup? I know. I can,
You know what? Maybe.
yeah, I know. Eh? I've never tried it either. It does sound like something that could be something that could
I've
be
had
good.
burgers with maple syrup. McDonald's has their new breakfast with a hint of maple syrup in it.
Yeah, I put maple syrup on my eggs over the week, 2 weeks ago, 2 weekends ago.
Tim Hortons, or as we call it up here, Timmy's, has their maple syrup bagels and and whatever they do, cookies, whatever they do. It's right now is maple syrup time in Canada.
Yeah.
Is maple syrup as big here in the States as it is in Canada?
Yeah. I don't know, but Kent says the business is still there.
Okay, cool.
Good. Yeah, it's it's maple syrup is big up here. I know that. You can see the pails in the trees. So waiting to get their stuff. All righty. I'm all done the recipes. Anything you want to add before we move on?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Okay. All right. After well, let's have a doob then. Here we go. Into the product review. Oh, I hear a printing machine going off. All right. So, product review.
Are you printing out your new papers to send to Health Canada?
No. They are already in the mail. I've already returned them. So, let's see what happens. Oh, there comes the grandson. Okay, here we go.
Coloring material.
It could be. Is this something for you to color, buddy? Is this something for you to color?
It's work.
It's work. Okay, go ahead. Let's go home. Are you talking to me? Got it? All right.
Now get out.
Oh, he says he only printed one page. Now I gotta go print the second page. So he'll be back.
We wanted to make sure.
Hey, we got some maple syrup stuff from Kent. He says he sent a couple of jugs of syrup to a buddy of his in Texas every year. Basically, that far south, all they have is that garbage they claim to be syrup.
So they don't produce, like the trees don't produce syrup down south, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
Because of the climate here, that it's best here, I guess.
Climate, crap. That's what I was going to say. Climate-wise, right? So, all right. Now, product reviews. I got two things to review. Just first, quickly, I've got this device here that I had never heard of or never seen until a week ago when I was.
Yes, I've seen these.
Yeah, I was in Toronto. I went down to visit Marco at the hospital. And afterwards, I got invited to go to the cafe dispensary. And they have a boardroom there. And they have a sitting room downstairs at the main door where we can sit around and smoke.
Which one? On St. Clair?
No, Fort York. Be done.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's the one that they put the big billboard up in front of the building when they put the big block.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the one where they had the big mural up. They had a mural of the storefront so that
people. Yeah, people were still going in and getting it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was buying. I went down there a few times, and you literally walk in between two big concrete blocks that the cops, they just moved them out of the way and put the mural up so it looked like the building was still there. But anyways, go ahead. Cafe.
Yeah, okay. So while I was there, our friend, longtime friend and cannabis advocate, Naomi Foley, she invited us there. So she brought in this device called the Zenko. Yeah. And it looked like a little wooden flying saucer with this tube on it, right?
Yeah, we had one at the lounge.
And it's there's the rest of it there.
Yeah.
And it's she said that she could do her pod in it, she could do hash in it, concentrates, and she took out that centerpiece and she grabbed a vape cart, just a regular old vape cart that people buy at the store or whatever, and she threaded that into it and used that in there as well.
And then you drink it.
Yes, that's what she did. She took it and took
You
a
sip it
plastic cup.
like a drink.
She took a plastic cup, turned it upside down. It had the lid on it, and the vape cart went up through where the straw goes in. Went up through there. It started to fill, and then I saw it starting to leak out.
Yep.
And she took it, flipped it upside down, stuck a straw in it, and
There
sucked
is
it
there
dry.
is a hose attachment that you can get for those as well.
Oh, you stick that right on the vape cart?
There are several variations of that type of thing that have hoses on them.
Mm-hmm.
But that one there, you literally just pull the cup up and
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Just watch them sucker dry, eh? Now, the next thing that I've got, I mentioned that I was out with Kent there last night, and he says, "Hey, we bought ourselves a hash joint to try." And I said, "Hash joint." So this is the hash joint. It's a Nugs hash wrap.
oh,
You can
cool. So that's the nugs hash that we would get. Yeah.
Yeah. The I'm
You
just
haven't
gonna
found the hash yet, eh?
no, I haven't had a chance to really to go look for it myself because I've just been so busy.
Yeah.
The paperwork there, in case you can't read it, it says that it's our curated flower, so there's cannabis inside that, and then it's wrapped in old school hash. There's no
Yum.
It's completely paperless. Actually, the only
Okay.
the only paper that is in it is in the filter. At the bottom there, you can see that
Right.
at the bottom, that is a glass filter that has a paper glass, with a paper filter inside of it. Now at the top, you can see a little I'm gonna call it's like a cupcake wrapper type thing, and that's around the end of the cannabis that's inside that joint. So I would assume that helps hold things during shipping. And then it says that to handle with care, always hold with the glass tip, never pinch mid wrap.
Oh no, you'd squish it.
You'd squish it.
So have you tried it?
Yes. I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
Now they say to use a lighter to spark a flame at the end of the wrap, quickly let it burn, and catch the cherry puff to ensure that the entire end of the wrap is lit. And they say enjoy it. Don't rush it. Let the ash fall naturally. Dust the end on an ashtray and enjoy that slow burn.
Dusting means don't flick.
Yes. Yeah. Well, like you say, it's really soft, eh?
Yeah.
And you obviously you don't want to destroy the joint by doing the hitting it too hard, right? So now here is the actual joint. I've got a picture of it here, just loading it up. There you go, right there. There's the actual joint. In the paperwork below it, it says that it is 1.7 grams of a joint. And as you see, it's a sativa. In that one, I don't know. I'm assuming they may make indica ones. I haven't got a clue if they do or not. And then the last picture that I've got here of that. Wrong screen now. Cancel. Oh, I know. I hit the share screen instead of hitting hitting the picture here. Okay, here we go. Now this is it burning.
Yeah, so it's about the size of it looks like about the size of a Colt cigar.
Correct. Well, yeah, it might even be a little bit bigger than a Colt cigar. That's what we were calling it, like a cigar. The ash, like the joints burn smooth, like as far as even all the way along. There was no run, no nothing. And the ash stayed on it, and eventually, like I said, just dusted off. We just tapped the hash or the ash on the ashtray, and it came off. So
Cool. And how
now,
does it?
as
Oh.
far as smoking it, we didn't finish it.
You didn't?
No, we didn't finish it. We smoked most of it, but we didn't finish it.
You didn't?
Yeah, key word on there was smoke slowly. It's not
Yeah.
they are like we've had a hash joint in the past. Found this one a little harsher. It was there was a lot of coughing going on. So that's why slow. That's slow and light draws. Don't haul on it like you're a vacuum cleaner. Or else, yeah. Yeah, that gives a chuckle as well. But yeah, it was I didn't time it though. See how long we went. Matt says that looks like a Tuesday morning wake and bake for me. Now, I haven't got a clue what it costs because it is a legal joint, just so everybody knows.
Here, let's look. Let's look.
He bought it. I know where he bought it at. All right.
No, I will just go on the OCS
Okay.
website.
All right. Yeah. He got it at Spirit Leaf in Campbellford.
And type in nugs, pre-rolls, correct? Yes, pre-rolls. Oh, I've got to verify. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Pre-rolls. Nugs. Nugs. No. Ooh, cherry blossom. That looks nice. Anyways.
Hash wrap.
Hash. Hash wrap. Not. I need to put a W in there.
All right.
All right. Nugs hash wrap is they've got sativa and indica.
Okay, they do have both.
The sativa is 34 to 42%, 2% CBD, and same with the indica. You have the sativa here, so we're going to go here. $29.95 for a 1.7 gram hash joint.
I'm not surprised by that. Yeah. $30. Remo's doobies were basically $40. They were 2 grams.
Remo just followed me the other day on Facebook.
Watch it.
No, I know. I'm pretty sure it's him, but I'm not.
Yeah.
There are several. I know.
Just so you know, Matt says that's a good deal for that doobie.
Is it? What do you know, Matt? That's orange.
Because I had the request sent to me last week, and Sandra confirmed to me that it was a fake account.
A follow,
and there was it was a follow thing or something. It said 9 people. We had 9 mutuals. And I went 9. No, we have more than 9 mutuals. This guy,
I know, and I didn't see you. I looked and I didn't see you on there, and there are 14 people. So thank you. No, this is why I brought it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on. Unfortunately,
correct.
Rick Simpson's having the same problems. I've had somebody try to spoof mine. Al's had, been spoofed. I think pretty much everybody I know that's in the community has been spoofed at one time or another.
Yeah, I've had a fake of mine.
I have one account that I use for everything, and then I have a backup that I don't use at all. And those are my only 2 Facebook accounts. If you get anything from me other than that, it's not me.
Did it have any description in that joint?
I don't know. I closed it already.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Well, we were done with that conversation already.
Well, we tend to
hang on. Description. No. It's just rolled in what? Yes, you can read that right. Nugs hash wrap sativa. We did it after going back to the lab. We were able to handcraft a beautiful 1 gram slab of hash, roll it around a piece of glass filter,
Mhm.
and then so they basically make a sheet of hash, and then they cut it into a rolling paper and then put it together.
Right. Yeah. Now,
Well, it says here that it is cannabis biotech out of Quebec. Nug, it's Nugs wrap, so it's a Nug brand.
Right.
Potency very strong, as I stated before, 34 to 42%, which is a lot. At 2%, sativa dominant. Terpenes may vary, and it's grown out of Quebec. It's an indoor. Oh God, they give you some real good stats here. It's grown with rock wool, HPS, and LED. It's hang dried and hand trimmed. Anything else you want to know?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say. The only thing I'm gonna wrap up on that is that the only reason we didn't finish the joint was because of coughing. It wasn't because we were too high. It was because we were coughing.
This is why I have trouble using my dewdrop for that reason.
Yeah, that's why my emphasis was on slow and low, was because, yeah, it was taking our breath away. It wasn't so much getting overly high or anything.
I enjoy hash in my pippy pipe, and because I don't get the cough as much as I do from that dang dewdrop.
Dewdrop.
How much dew can a dewdrop drop if a dewdrop could drop a stoner?
One worm of hashish.
Dude, you know what? The last 2 times I've put a worm in mine, they've fallen off. Then you got to fish it out of the fucking water. At least with a Happle, you don't have to fish it out of the water.
Yeah.
Well, there's no water in the.
There's no water in that top chamber, but yeah, I haven't dropped any in that, so I haven't.
It falls right through.
Experienced it yet.
Through right down to the fucking bottom.
Yeah. Alrighty, we're done reviews of products. Time to move on to the headlines. Well, I think between us, we got lots of headlines, lots of news.
Oh yeah. Which one do you? I've got the one here that's loaded. Ontario court to hear a charter challenge on supervised consumption lounges.
Yes.
That will close 10 sites. Do you have it?
Ontario's changing the laws on them.
Do you have it here, Al?
No, I don't have it in front of me.
I'll bring it
I
up
have read
here.
it. I have read it.
Where is it? Where did I put it? There we go. Start sharing this one. Skibbity boo, bibbity bing. There we go. So there's a charter challenge because there are several consumption sites that are running that are pushing the envelope, I guess.
Well, what happened was one of them, there was somebody who was killed by one. And when that happened.
Wait, what? Back up.
Yeah, there was somebody who was shot near a consumption site.
Near.
Yeah. And because that happened, the Ontario government jumped in and they put in.
Okay. I just have to interject here. Yeah. How many times have people been stabbed or shot sitting beside a fucking needle exchange?
Or bar.
Or a bar. I bounced in my 20s. Even I've had a gun pulled on me at a bar. You know,
I had a gun pulled at me in a not in a restaurant, but in a gas station.
Really?
Yeah, I was working behind the counter. They stuck.
You got robbed?
I got robbed. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I have a friend who owned a grocery store in Australia, and several people came in at gun and knife point. He was stabbed several times, leaving him almost dead on the floor.
Not
And he
good.
lost business because of it. So, anyways,
Back to
let's
this.
go back to
Yeah. So they've changed. They're changing some laws, and they only want these sites in certain locations, and the way that they operate will be done differently as well.
So where was this that this happened here? Here's the story here. I was going to read for you.
Oh, I haven't got it. Hang on a second.
Can you see that far?
Yeah, I can see it now. I have to blow up because I run
I'll make
everything
it bigger
small.
for you. There you go.
Oh, that's all right. They say that dozens of people showed up at this courtroom to deal with this law, and they say that the provincial law will shut down 10 sites that are supervised consumption locations. The province passed legislation last year that banned consumption sites deemed too close to schools or daycares. The neighborhood group, which runs the Kensington Market overdose prevention site in downtown Toronto, launched a lawsuit in December along with two people who used the space. And the group's lawyer, Carlo DiCarlo, hey, that's a different type name. Last name, first name's the same. Asked, does Ontario's actions increase the risk of death and harm? And he says the answer is yes. Now, Bill Sinclair. Oh, you moved.
This is consumption sites, not cannabis consumption sites.
Correct. This is not cannabis. This is consumption.
Needle exchange places.
Injections. Yeah, for injection sites. Yeah. Let's see what else. You see, the group says consumption sites are part of the solution on the ongoing drug crisis that claims thousands of Ontario's lives every year. DiCarlo says it's something that will minimize deaths and the spread of infectious disease, and that will allow people to continue the fight to recovery. It gives them access to clean needles.
Well, these sites are supposed to be to help keep things clean.
Clean gives them access to care,
and
gets them in the door where they can get
and they're getting clean meds.
Right.
Like I don't want to call them meds. They're getting clean, whatever it is they're going in there for. It's clean. It doesn't have fentanyl in it. Blah 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 blah. And I get it.
They say that the group points to the evidence that the 10 sites have never had a death and have reversed several thousand overdoses. Why would we want to shut something like that down?
We used to see at least one or two overdoses in the park beside the lounge a week.
Right. Now, why are they doing this? Is because the province is moving to an abstinence-based treatment.
Abstinence.
Yeah. And then the 10 consumption sites will cease operations April the 1st when the new rules take effect, banning them within 200 meters of schools and daycares.
I get that. I do. I get that part. But so they need to put them in areas where, most of these consumption places are funded by the government.
Yeah. They say that 9 of the consumption sites will be converted to homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs. Or heart hubs, as the province refers to.
So they'll just go back to the fucking parks and the subways, the subway tunnels, and the underground to do what they've been doing, and they're going to do anyways.
Yeah. All right, that's that one.
Ridiculous, redonkulous. All right, next.
Yeah, you got another news article? You want me to bring one up?
You can bring one up, and then I will find another one to do after that.
All right. I will bring that one up right now. And this one here is an update to the cannabis rules and regulations that are going on. Now, I'm just going to speed right down to the bottom. we're not really the bottom, but into it. They say changes to the cannabis regulations. They mentioned research changes. Organizations and individual organizations now do not need a research license when conducting non-human or non-animal research while possessing no more than 30 grams. Micros and nurseries, they have increased by a factor of 4 as far as their size. Micro cultivators were previously limited to growing cannabis within 200 square meter canopy. That has been now raised to 800 square meters. They can now possess, they've gone from 600 kilograms. They can now process 2,400 kilograms. Nurseries were limited to growing cannabis flower in a 50 square meter space, harvesting up to 5 kgs of flower for the purpose of seed production. That has been increased to 200 square meters. Quality assurance, they say the changes to the regulations increased the number of alternate QAPs, which is quality assurance persons, and that's what I was before I got sick, but not a licensed producer. Previously, there was a limit to no more than 2. Now there are no limits. Cannabis pollen was not mentioned in the regulations. It will now be sold between license holders. So it's not to you and me, but to license holders. Licensed processors will no longer be required to provide printed copies of the consumer information document on every package of cannabis products sent. They say temporary changes made during the COVID pandemic have been made permanent, and that includes removing the requirement to list the ports of entry and exit on import and export permits for cannabis. Yet again, it's not affecting you and me. License changes, they say that made possible for Health Canada to suspend any licenses connected to a license holder with any unpaid fees that have failed to submit a required statement of cannabis revenue for a license that is required on the cannabis fee orders. Does that mean somebody will be losing their license because they didn't pay their excise tax?
Yep.
Which is an excise tax is a big thing that has been not been paid by the LP.
Well, it's kind of like not paying your taxes. You can't.
Yeah, correct.
You're not paying
So they're going to start pulling those licenses. Now, as
Well,
far as derivatives, derivatives made from non-viable cannabis seeds, mature stalks and roots can be imported, exported, sold, and processed without a license. Industry hemp removes the maximum THC concentration of 10 parts per million for industrial hemp grain derivatives. Oh, so there is no, I don't see any new one added on there. Now, as far as the food and drug regulations, they say that the reference to a food or cosmetic containing cannabis that consists only of industrial hemp grain derivatives is now exempt. Personal and physical security, they did a lot of changes. They removed the requirement of on-the-site presence of a security cleared individual. Cannabis cultivators and processors can now send cannabis for remediation. So basically radiation treatment, without a security guard being a chaperone. Intrusion detection systems required a site perimeter has been removed. Storage areas to have a room within a room, that requirement to record or retain a list of individuals entering or exiting the storage area has been removed. Yet again, nothing that affects you and me. Visual recordings, pre-roll and ethyl alcohol, the restriction weight limit of 1 gram of each discrete unit of dried cannabis that is intended to be consumed for inhalation, such as pre-rolls, is removed. I don't weight limit of 1 gram. We just described one that was 1.2, 1.7. And Remos has been out with 2, so I wasn't sure about that one. Packaging, they made changes there. Labeling, they made changes. Record keeping, the list goes on. Cannabis tracking system, so there you go. It's a big list of changes.
Mostly for the business side of things.
Correct. Exactly. All right, you got one?
Yes, sir. His Royal Highness, King Charles, has turned to cannabis for his cancer treatments.
Oh yes.
So this is actually here. I'm trying to scroll down on our video. This is actually, interesting because
It's
the
the king.
monarch is now
It's the king.
he's open to alternative medicines, and I don't know if this would be taking place if his mom was still alive.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, he's getting access to it, but yet there's hundreds of children that are still waiting for access to it for their seizures because of the program in the UK. It sucks.
Yeah, it does. And here's the funny thing, though. The UK has been producing cannabis longer than any other country on the planet. GW Pharmaceuticals, I believe it is, in the UK.
Were they there or were they in the Netherlands?
Making derivatives of tinctures and stuff for people with MS and epilepsy and things like that for 20 years at least.
Yeah.
If not longer.
Yeah.
So that's surprising. Although, I hope it works for him. I hope he's doing it right. I hope that he's got
some good advice.
I hope that he's been given some good advice on how to do it, when to do it, what to do it, blah 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 blah. Because otherwise, like we discussed earlier, you're just getting baked.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes to cancer and using oil, you have to do it right. It has to be the right supply. It has to be prepared the right way. Otherwise, it's just a placebo. As far as cancer goes, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been talking with a cancer patient recently, and they've tried some of the fecal oil, and holy fuck, do I ever get stoned? Use less.
I was able to have another 3 or 4 years with my pal Buster when he got cancer, out of the goodness of her heart, because she was doing the 420 show with me at the time. Jess was sending me, her husband at the time, his RSO for my dog. So he was on the real stuff going from the get-go. And I would do the same thing and will do the same thing for Rose, and thank you.
It's all right. I know what you mean, man.
and Stephen as well. I mean, I've always heard that cats and cannabis, but I'll tell you, man, I light a joint, my fucking cat's on my lap.
Catnip.
Oh, he just now, if you go like this to him, he's like,
yeah. I see we got a couple comments from Buddy Weeds. He says, I don't even want to give my opinion about that. It's not safe for TV.
Well, we're not TV, so yeah, it's safe. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, and he says that the changes they made just cost legal producers a small fortune. But there was, in the report, I think
there's a lot that they've removed, though, as well.
Yeah. There was, I believe it said something total. It was supposed to save them something like $28 million or $25 million as far as all the LPs combined, the moves. So, and I question, would those savings be passed down to the consumer? Not likely, not. So, all righty. Okay. You're done with the king?
Done with the king.
Okay. I'm going to move on to my next story here. This is something that a lot of patients in the early times had a lot of concerns. And that was the fact that they were growing in their homes. And what would happen if there was a fire in their house that was not related to their cannabis? Would the insurance company cover their claim, or would they be denied? This is a follow-up. Legal cannabis plans do not void policy, rules BC Court of Appeal. And what happened here? This is a patient who was growing his own cannabis in his home down in the basement, and there was a fire in his kitchen. This happened in 2017. Okay. And they denied him insurance. Because of the cannabis plants that were in his basement that had
Even though the fire had nothing to do with the pot.
Nothing to do it. Yep. He had it was Gore Mutual Insurance Company denied his claim, and he was growing approximately 25 plants in his house. The plants were illegal, authorized by Health Canada. He was insured since 2014. The insurance provider denied his claim of compensation for the loss, and pointed to an clause in the policy that did not allow cannabis cultivation on the property.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
Yeah, so he sued them, and the judge in the case sided with the insurance company. And in the appeal, the new judge ruled that the first judge erred in the ruling, saying it was based on previous court case, which the appeal judge said was not relevant, as that they dealt with the illicit cannabis production. Had nothing to do with the patient. They were basing it on illicit cannabis production. And the first of those cases involved the illicit production of cannabis extracts rather than the legal licensed medical grow, while the second one dealt with a 300 plant operation that the owners made efforts to hide. So they used illegal operations to compare that to a legal grow. And that goes back to the Matt Barron case. Same idea. They were comparing illegal grows to patients. So now I'm not just saying. In addition, not only did they deny his claim for the breach of policy, but they did not cancel his policy. Not only that, but they continued to collect payments from him
on that policy.
Even though they denied his claim.
I know that a few years ago, when we were doing this legal thing change, Scott Wilkins was doing insurance for medical grows in homes, and it was being underwritten by Lloyd's of London, basically.
Yeah.
And now we're hearing things like this. You know, one of the reasons I was hesitant about starting a grow inside my home is that reason.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of people who were concerned about that with the insurance. I know I was concerned about it, and I kept paying my insurance, crossing the fingers.
Did you check your insurance policy on any
on that original house? Yeah, I can't remember. That was too far back now. I've been growing for 20
my
years.
suggestion to anybody who's thinking about growing in their home, go for it, but check your insurance policy.
Check your policy.
And if your insurance policy has a note there that says no growing cannabis in your home, then get an underwriter.
Yeah, there are policies that you can. At one time, Lords of London used to do it. In this, but this is a case. This is BC Supreme Court.
I don't think they are.
It's not the Canadian Supreme Court, but the BC Supreme Court carries big weight, and I would think that.
So, what's the difference there, Al? What's the difference between the Supreme Court of Canada and the Supreme Court of BC?
Well, one's a provincial court, and the other ones are federal.
All right.
Yeah. So then, in the decision, the judge to close this off, it says the appellant was using medicinal cannabis to relieve chronic and debilitating pain experiencing following back surgery. The judge says that the guy sought and obtained a license that permitted him to grow 75 plants. He was only growing 25 at the time of the fire. Well, not determinative. The cause of the fire had nothing to do with his cannabis plants, as the judge found, and there was no suggestion that the appellant misled or misrepresented the insurer in any way. Further, the judge relied heavily on the underwriter's evidence from the Ontario case, where the same exclusion was at issue in different circumstances. And in my view, these circumstances supporting a finding that would be unjust or unreasonable to give effect to the exclusion.
So where are things with that now? The guy's just out of home, or
That I don't know. It doesn't say. But this case started in 2017, so obviously,
Okay, it's been a while. Yeah.
it's been a while. It's been in the courts, right? It made it all the way up to the Supreme Court of the
Well, you know,
province.
there's a lot of cases right now in Canada that are 15 years old that are still in the courts.
Still in the courts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got any news? You got something else there?
Let me look and see what's in the roller deck here.
All right.
Oh God. Here's the one that we were talking about there the other day, Al. It is. Excuse me. That got me by the boo-boo. Here's another bullshit move by a corporate entity. There is an association or a blood drive that are enticing donors to give blood for in return getting cannabis.
Right. I think I've seen that in the past.
I'm going to open the actual article. Here we go. So now we can actually see what's going on here. This is ridiculous. Although, Al, when I posted this, you said that you thought it might be an issue here in Canada to do something.
Yeah, because here in Canada, you cannot use cannabis as an enticer.
That rule wasn't changed, eh?
Well, is this the U.S.?
This is U.S., yes.
Yeah. Here in Canada, you can't use cannabis as an enticer. Now, that's for purchasing things, so on and so forth. So I don't know how exactly where the blood end would come in, but I know that you're not allowed to use it as an enticer. Like, for example, buy one bong and we'll give you a gram of cannabis.
Here's the article here. You can see it, yes, Al?
Just have to blow it up. Yeah, I can see it.
It is the Rock River Valley Blood Center and and Leaf Dispensary, and they are in
Freeport, Illinois.
Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah. They had it the other day, March the 22nd. It was on. Bleed for Weed operates like a normal blood drive, but once a donation has been successfully facilitated, donors get a voucher, according to a local news outlet. Each voucher has been redeemed by Life Dispensary in Rockford for either an eighth of flower or an edible chosen by the dispensary. For those who pass on the cannabis, t-shirts will be available.
Hey, I'd go give a couple of pints for a fucking quarter. Pull me up.
Pull one out of each arm.
Here's my question. Can I consume while I'm giving blood?
I don't know. But obviously,
have you ever consumed while you've given blood, haven't you, Al?
No, because I'm on biological drugs, so I don't know.
I know. I can't do it because I'm diabetic.
Yeah. But one thing to point out, it's not even mentioned here, they have no concern of using cannabis or THC infused blood. Knowing that people who are donating are getting the gram of cannabis, more likely they're a consumer.
I know when you go in for a drug test, I mean, even if you haven't used in 6 months, you can still test positive.
Yeah.
Cannabis will stay in your blood system for up to, I don't know how many days.
Well, I got a perfect example. Glenn, co-host on the news show, he was 31 days. He's a truck driver, 31 days, and he still tested positive for cannabis.
Well, I know one of the kids here went in and they were 6 weeks he didn't touch it, but he was around people that did,
Mm-hmm.
and he tested positive.
Yeah. No
And,
doubt about that.
you know, I mean, but that's a little bit ridiculous, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All righty. Any other news?
Don't rush me.
Well, no rush. Just checking before I move on to the next segment.
I think we're good with that. I have another thing to do.
Yeah.
Still. And my tea is beeping. So while you put on the next segment thing, I will be right back.
All right, we're moving on from the news, from the headlines to the sports. All right, sports. There goes Al. Well, Al is away. You're running? Okay. I will bring up a little bit of sports news for everybody. And good news for those who like to watch the women's hockey. The Professional Women's Hockey League is looking to expand, and it says a Detroit boost bid for the expansion team by drawing U.S. record crowd for pro women's hockey. Now they're looking at expanding maybe into Seattle, Vancouver, Quebec, and there's going to be an announcement in April. You can see that, hey, Detroit needs a team. And let's see what all it says. There's the PWHL. There's 6 teams, and they're looking at maybe expanding in 2 more. Detroit improved its chances by drawing over 14,000 fans to a game.
Is this men or women?
Women.
Okay.
Women. Yeah.
That's happening a lot. We just talked about the WNBA not too long ago.
Yeah, exactly. There's another game that had almost 14,000 fans to it. Denver drew over 14,000 fans to a game.
So this is this a women's NHL league?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. They say it mentions Seattle, Vancouver, Quebec. They say right now everything's a competition. It's awesome to see, but I think it also speaks to the demand and how this has been a long time coming. According to Kendall Coyne Schofield, she's a forward with the Frost. Go ahead.
There are a huge number of female hockey fans in Canada.
Yeah, well, here you go. The world attendance record for women's hockey was set nearly a year ago when 21,000 people were in the stands for a PWHL game between Montreal and Toronto in the Canadiens Arena. That's in an NHL-sized arena.
Do you remember back in the day when somebody said, "Women in the NHL? Woo! Women in the NBA? Woo! What about fucking football? Women in football?" There's been some women who have been brought into NFL teams to play.
Yeah, there are right now. There's lots of women involved in the coaching staff. In the past, there was a lady who played goal in NHL.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was being silly, but I didn't know that they were actually. They've actually brought. Well, I think they've tried bringing female players into baseball.
Yeah, I don't know. They say that 1 million fans have attended the league games since in the first season in a bit. To think that they had 1 million people come watch it the games is good, right? So yeah. This see what else on here. Yeah, that's about it. They mentioned the teams there, and so we'll see what happens. Hopefully the women's league can expand. And I know over the years I used to watch them in the Olympics and think, holy fuck.
Have you heard anything about what's going on with this banana baseball league?
No.
You heard anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about Banana Baseball League.
I'm gonna look up some stuff on it because I see a lot of reels about banana baseball and very colorful uniforms. But different rules. It's
Mhm.
silly, it's funny, and I believe they have women on the team as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Last thing in the sports end of things, just some quick scores here. In NHL last night, Canucks over the Devils 4-3, Red Wings over Utah 5-1. The Jackets beat the Islanders 4-3, and the Stars shut out the Wild 3-0.
Baseball starts March 27th.
Yeah, we'll be
And
able to
the
add that.
Stanley Cup is coming up soon, right?
Yeah, it is. There we
They're
go.
all- Are they playing now, or
Just so Kent says, I was thinking what her name was, Kent, and I just couldn't say what it was. But there you go, Manon Rion. She was a goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
in the NHL?
Correct. Yeah.
Not the women's league, NHL.
No, correct.
Okay.
NHL. Yeah. Yeah. But now there's so many talented women that they have their own league, which is great. So, all righty. I got nothing else in sports. You got anything you want to mention?
Not sports related.
Not sports related. All right. We're going to move on then from sports to entertainment and events. Okay. Have you got any entertainment? I got some events and I got some entertainment.
No, I don't have any entertainment.
Okay. We'll go to the events first. Okay.
Hey, I know, Al. Let's
What?
go to the events first.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. Now, according to Cannabis Market Space, we got the Flower Expo going on in Illinois tomorrow.
Flower Expo weekly.
Yeah. Tethers has got a whole slew of events on the 25th there in Calgary. That is a sampling. And then the 26th, they're doing their Bee Week London sampling event as part of the Bud Tenders Appreciation Week. Tethers Bee Week Vancouver gathering. That's a Appreciation Week celebration for the Bud Tenders. Kind Gardens Vancouver. They say explore this unique opportunity to connect, innovate, and celebrate the world of cannabis in Vancouver. I would imagine the ones is coming to Toronto soon. So let's go into the first week of April. We got Alternative Products Expo. That's in Miami. And obviously that's with alternative products. And Token Tuesday. That's in Saskatchewan.
What are they about, Al? Alternative products, you say?
Alternative Products Expo. Yep. And then Token Tuesday is Blaze, Mingle, and Talk Shop, where business gets lit. So there you go. Some events that were coming up. Now we just
and let's go one step further just to throw it out there. Don't forget that the first weekend in May is the Global Marijuana March, worldwide event.
That's right.
And which is the 3rd of May, I believe.
Yeah, Toronto has
the Toronto Global Marijuana March. If you know of one going on, please tell us. If you are going to one, please tell us. We'll be happy to bring you on the show and let you show what you guys are doing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now in the entertainment thing. I guess entertainment. Just a quick, I guess, basically an announcement to let people know that we got a new show coming on the network. It's going to be stuff that we've had in the past. I've always enjoyed having music shows, and I got a new music show coming on that's going to be airing
That'll
on.
last long.
Huh?
That'll last long.
It will.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you just a little teaser. Okay. Tomorrow night on the Pace Radio Show, we are going to interview the host of the new show, as well as the new show will be launched Thursday night. So here's just a bit of a teaser. All right.
He sat in the corner, eyes eyes half closed, wrapped in smoke like a worn out road. They say he's seen the past, the present, the end, through the bottom of a bong that ain't never been cleaned. I dropped a 20, said tell me my fate. He took one hit, then made me wait. Stared real deep like a wise old sage, then coughed up a lung and said, bro, you blazed. Bong water vision, secrets untold. Sip it if you dare, but the taste too cold. One puff, two puff, spirits arise.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anybody saying, "Hey, that's copyrighted." Which happens with Facebook, YouTube, and everything when it comes to music.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a necessary evil that they have to do now. I don't like it. I don't like not being able to play music. It was when I started doing this, it was the whole package. It was hanging out, smoking doobies, talking about cannabis, and listening to tunes. So,
this is
considering doing the same thing.
Yeah, this is going to be an hour-long broadcast that will be DJ'd with the music. So, and so we got Buddy Weeds. It looks like he likes that. He likes it. So that's good. But there'll be more information will come out. Anybody check out the Pace Radio Show tomorrow night. We're going to be interviewing the guy behind all that.
No, don't do that. Don't watch that stupid show.
And then it'll be released Thursday night.
Come watch stuff on 420 Radio.
420 Pace is all going to be covering it all. Good. Thanks, Buddy Weeds. Good stuff. I'll pass that on to the DJ.
Like I said, I truly miss having the station going all the time.
Yeah. I've had, like with Pace Radio, we've had music for 4 out of the 6 years. You've always had music within your stuff
up until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I had hundreds of episodes of coverage radio that my buddy Mike did for 8 years that Spreaker just deleted, just flat out deleted. We had before that, we had a reggae show with Passion, which up until we had to remove it, was our highest rated show.
Ever. Yeah.
Passion was a DJ in Jamaica that was doing the show from beach parties in Jamaica on Saturday evenings. So and they were long. And actually DJ'd and stuff, and I miss that show. I really do.
Yeah. I see. Buddy says he likes the songs played on Friday reruns. Yeah, because when you do the replays, the rebroadcasts,
you get the songs.
They get
songs. Copyright strikes too.
Yeah. See, that's the nice thing about this. I don't have to worry about that. So.
Well, there are ways to we were experimenting using a few different services where they pay the royalty fees for you, but that's a whole other kettle of fish, because you've got to then we're trying to drive people to our YouTube channel now, and YouTube is being tolerant and inserting information about the music and stuff like that, and I understand the need for artists to be paid. That's why they're doing this.
Okay.
But we're not trying to take your music. We're trying to promote your music. And we used to be able to do that quite readily. We've had a lot of bands, some big bands on the show, and they're like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
But now, even one of Al's little start segments there for one of his shows gets clipped now.
The Pace Radio Show. I had
our theme song for the 420 Radio Show was done by Jim Melvin, who's a member of the Royal Kush Band, and he's a friend. And I said, would you mind doing this? And he said, sure. I've even had issues with Facebook about that because it's music. And apparently the rat patrol is getting worse on the internet.
Yeah, I was using It Doesn't Make Sense by the Killing Time band.
Correct. And they said
I had permission to do so
that
from
they sent you.
Them. Yeah. Brad gave me the okay on it, but
That's right.
Years later is when all of a sudden I was told that I can't do that. Not from him, but by copyright issues and notifications.
Right. With 18 years of shows on YouTube and on Facebook, I get copyright notices from like 2014 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I just I switched it over and got another song somebody else created.
There you go.
They said, "Don't worry about that Al. This song you're good with." So
your easiest combat with that is to do AI.
Well, it's all new. That's it wasn't around. It wasn't around when I was doing that.
We use a music service, and each artist or band has a set of things that they have to do, and one of them in their media package, they have to give you a written okay that you can play their stuff. But Rose, would you please lay down? But the issue is where something is cleared on Facebook doesn't mean it's going to be cleared on YouTube or on Instagram or on one of the other things. And that's the issue, because you may be using copyright cleared music from Facebook, but that doesn't mean it's copyright cleared on YouTube.
No,
right? Al and I use free open source copyright free stuff from Facebook and from YouTube, but we still get flagged.
Yeah, and even my editing program that I use for doing things, even the music.
Well, that's because those songs are licensed to that platform, not to this platform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There needs to be. I understand the need for it. Like I said, artists needs to be compensated for their work, but by the same token, there's a difference between promoting and stealing.
Yeah. Well, with this way, we're not stealing.
I mean, come on now. Radio stations. When I started doing the station, I was sent tons of music. Almost daily, I'd get music in the mail, CDs and stuff, before we started transferring stuff electronically.
Get a dozen CDs for a penny.
I still owe money to KTEL. I had a KTEL video thing I was going to play too, and I should have. But anyways,
all right. Excuse me. All right. Anything else?
I have a video.
Buddy says he hopes that you can share content in all forms. Well, and he says, almost all.
Yeah. I have a choice of 2 other videos that I put together.
Okay.
I'm going to let Al choose which one we're going to watch.
All right.
One is The Powers of Cannabis Sativa. And the other one is Medical Cannabis, A New Hope. Is medical cannabis a new hope for epilepsy?
Let's go to the epilepsy.
Alrighty. I knew you were going to say that.
Look at that.
Now, pardon the watermarks. I'm using the demo version of the program. So, deal with it.
Yeah.
Epilepsy is a challenging neurological disorder. It affects millions worldwide. Seizures are the hallmark of this condition. They can be debilitating and impact quality of life. Traditional treatments don't work for everyone. This has led to a search for new options. Medical cannabis has emerged as a potential therapy. Cannabis contains compounds called cannabinoids. These interact with the body's endocannabinoid system. This system plays a role in regulating brain activity. 2 main cannabinoids are of interest: CBD and THC. CBD does not produce a high. THC is psychoactive. Research suggests that CBD may have anti-seizure properties. It is already approved in some countries for specific epilepsy syndromes. THC's role is more complex. It may have benefits for some, but more research is needed. The combination of CBD and THC is now a focus of investigation. The use of medical cannabis for epilepsy is gaining attention. Clinical trials are ongoing. Legal reforms are being debated. Patient advocacy is growing. This essay explores the current landscape of medical cannabis in epilepsy treatment. We will delve into the science, legal aspects, and personal stories. Scientists are actively studying cannabis. They want to understand its effects on epilepsy. Clinical trials are crucial to this research. These trials test the safety and effectiveness of cannabis-based treatments. Recent trials have focused on CBD. Results have been encouraging, particularly for certain types of epilepsy. One notable example is Epidiolex. This is a purified CBD medication. It has been approved for Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. These are severe forms of epilepsy. Epidiolex has shown significant seizure reduction in clinical trials. This has provided hope for patients who have not responded well to other treatments. Newer trials are exploring the combination of CBD and THC. Researchers want to see if this combination is even more effective. A large-scale trial is underway in the United Kingdom. It involves both adults and children with drug-resistant epilepsy. The trial is using specific formulations of CBD and THC. Researchers are looking at seizure frequency, quality of life, and other factors. Preliminary findings from smaller studies suggest that CBD-THC combinations may have benefits. However, larger, well-designed trials are needed. These trials will provide more definitive answers about the safety and efficacy of this approach. The legal status of medical cannabis varies worldwide. In many countries, it remains a controlled substance. This can make research and access challenging. However, there is growing momentum towards legalization. In the United States, 37 states have legalized medical cannabis. Some states have specifically approved it for epilepsy. The federal government still classifies cannabis as a Schedule I drug. This means it has a high potential for abuse. Advocates are pushing for rescheduling. This would acknowledge the potential medical benefits of cannabis. Advocacy groups play a vital role in raising awareness. They provide support for patients and families. Organizations like the Epilepsy Foundation are actively involved in this effort. They educate the public and policymakers about the potential of medical cannabis. They also advocate for increased research funding. Physician-patient communication is crucial in this evolving landscape. Doctors need to be informed about the latest research. They should be open to discussing medical cannabis with their patients. Patients need to feel comfortable talking to their doctors about their options. Behind the science and legal debates are real people. Families living with epilepsy are looking for effective treatments. Many have found hope in medical cannabis. One such story is that of a young boy named Sam. Sam has a severe form of epilepsy. He experienced multiple seizures daily. Traditional medications didn't work for him. Sam's parents were desperate. They heard about CBD oil and decided to try it. The results were remarkable. Sam's seizures dramatically reduced. He was able to participate more fully in life. Stories like Sam's are not uncommon. They highlight the potential of medical cannabis to improve lives. Experts in the field are cautiously optimistic. They emphasize the need for more research. Dr. Emily Johnson, a neurologist specializing in epilepsy, says, "We are still in the early stages of understanding medical cannabis, but the initial findings are promising. We need more rigorous studies to determine the best ways to use it safely and effectively." The future of medical cannabis in epilepsy treatment holds both promise and challenges. Continued research is essential. Open dialogue between healthcare providers, patients, and policymakers is crucial. By working together, we can unlock the therapeutic potential of medical cannabis and provide hope for individuals and families living with epilepsy.
That was very unexplanatory.
It's still cool. You could there's so much information that could be put out.
Well, you have to.
Hard to
when
do
you
that
make
in
these,
a 3-minute or 4-minute video.
When you work with these things on the website there to set them up, you actually have to put a lot of parameters in there. The more parameters you have in there, the more in depth it'll be.
Yeah,
right?
just so you know,
So I'm just learning, and you know, we'll get better. Marcel has been doing stuff as well.
Yeah. The as I showed there, Buddy says good video, very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so. But like I said, there was a lack of information in there though.
There's probably always something missing. You couldn't squeeze everything you wanted to into a 3 to 5 minute video.
I put them in for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And they come out usually around that.
Yeah. All righty.
And that's all I got, buddy.
That's all you got, and that's all I've got as well, bud. That's it. I think we're done. And we've been almost a full 2 hours too. Yeah, a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of stuff today. So, all righty. Nothing else, obviously. No. All right.
Time for lunch.
What's that?
Time for lunch.
Time for lunch. Exactly. All right, everybody. That's it for the Hi Guys. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Other than that, have yourselves a great week.
Same high time, same high channel.
There you go. All right. Bye-bye. You're watching the 420 Pace, found at 420pace.ca. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.